All right, so it's 10 a.m. So we will go ahead and get started. I hope you guys are having a good morning. I just wanted to start um today by Cynthia is on the call, so you're first on my agenda to just give any background updates if you have any or anything you need to let the providers know about any of the background stuff.
Thank you. No, we don't have any updates. If you guys are still having problems getting your forms back, let me know because they're trying to say that it is because you have a Microsoft account that the email is going, that the email's trying to go back to. Um, I'm hoping they get this fixed. If not, if you'll just let me know who's still having problems so I can get with IT and see where they are on getting this fixed. I'm not sure, but I want you guys to be able to efficiently get your consent forms back so you can get them uploaded. Because I know I've had a lot of providers say they have to ask the applicant for the paperwork because they're not getting it back in their email. So if you're having that problem, just email me, let me know so that I can get it back over to IT and let them know to get work, what problems we're having and what email, if you'll just give me the email that you're using, so I can get that to him so he can see what the problem is. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Hi, Cynthia, this is June. I sent you an email this morning because we're having that issue. And here's something that's really, really weird and never seen before. I put in our email address, but when the form printed, I put another letter in there. And so I thought, okay, maybe it was a typo on my part. I went and did it a second time, and it did the same thing. Put the wrong email in there. I thought that was really weird. So, but yeah, I sent you an email this morning because we are having an issue getting one back.
Okay, if you got, can you screenshot it so that I can see it and I can get it over to him to show what it's doing? Because like I said, I don't know what, problems they're having. And I can also get you the forms that are manual. You'll just have to get them notarized. And I don't mind you all using those just so you guys can get your background checks in and get them, adjudicated.
Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else have any questions for Cynthia? All right, so we'll move on to the next thing. So as always, we like to share positive experiences or positive things you guys are doing at your agencies. I know Halloween just passed and Thanksgiving is coming up. Anybody want to share what the kiddos did for Halloween? Any fun costumes or anything like that? And if you have any plans for Thanksgiving? I know you guys are awake today. I know somebody want to share.
I'll share,
Oh,
Jasmine.
oh, okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
My plans for Thanksgiving are to fly out to San Diego to watch my son graduate from the Marines out there, and it'll be my first time in California. And I haven't seen him since August, so I'm getting really, really excited. So if you see me and I act like I'm a little crazy, I really am. I miss him like crazy, but it's been a really new experience, kind of doing things by myself, and some good, some not so good. But I'm super, super excited about this month.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Joy. That sounds exciting. Anybody else want to share?
This is Lori at Consolidated Youth Services. We opened our new education building a little over a month ago. That was great. It's a beautiful, updated building, and we're real excited. We've also implemented an employee to do the primary bulk of activities. Our kids stay very busy. Our facility director needed assistance. She's great at it, but we had to relieve her son. So we've had pumpkin contests, we've had mask contests, we've had decorating contests. They've done something just about every day and every weekend.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Anybody else?
I'll go, Jasmine. This is Abby with Fostering Change. And we were able to take our youth, they were able to go trick or treating this year. We always try to kind of help recreate those holidays just because they, missed out on so much. And for two of our girls, they were both 15. It was their first time to ever go trick or treating in their life. So that's always exciting. And they did very, very well. Our staff were like amazed at how well they did. So it was exciting for all of them.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's good to hear. Anybody else?
We did have the local church come by this morning. They're going to be doing the meals for the families again, for the kids here and the families to take home with them. So we always appreciate that. We had plenty of candy, but we did not go trick or treating. My famous words are, I never went trick or treating, and look how great I turned out. So, hey. But we did have plenty of candy. Um, but we're getting ready for Thanksgiving now.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Anybody else? As always, we really appreciate you guys making sure the kids have things to do over the holidays and keeping them busy and things like that. You guys always have great things to share, and it's always good to hear about the great things you guys are doing with the kids and keeping them involved in different activities. Shay, you wanted to say something?
Yes, good morning. I just wanted to tell you guys thank you so much for all of your participation with Ebony's last
Thank you.
project with the shoes and the shoestring project. That is really amazing, and I'm going to see if I can share the picture of how we displayed them at um at, at central office at DHS downtown. And that's it, Jasmine. I just okay, since
Okay, I didn't know if
talking
you was
about
gonna try to pull
positive
the
things,
picture
that's
up
okay.
now.
I'll show it
Okay.
when I find it.
Okay. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, so we know it's getting cold out and this is like flu season where kids start getting sick, we get colds and all that stuff. So just make sure you guys are being on the lookout for that stuff. Making sure the kids are going out with proper clothes on to keep them warm. And looking out for any signs of illness and things like that. Um, and I next on my agenda, so we have an announcement. So there's been a change, or as you guys know, we've had a lot of changes going on in our units. And so recently we just moved over all residential. So I used to be program coordinator for our placement, adoption, and residential agencies. And now I am only for placement and adoption and Chelsea Bardell. You guys know her. She is going to be the new manager over our residential facilities. So so she's residential and PRTF now. So all of my residential people, any of your questions, you have the same specialist, but Chelsea is going to be the new manager over those. So Chelsea, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. So I know good portion of you guys on the call of the providers for the residential facilities. I've had contact with you in some shape, way, or form, most of you. And the ones that I haven't, I look forward to meeting you and getting to speak with you and work with you. The specialists that you have, Eleanor and Tina, They are both, I'll be their direct supervisor for now until we fill the program coordinator position on the PRTF/residential side. So right now, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, talk to me. Most people know that I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, or I will get back to you relatively quickly to answer any questions you have. Now, I do want to throw in here, since we're all together, the one thing that I have noticed that I would like to work on, and I'm going to send out an email today, and I'm going to ask for, once you read it, to send me that you've received it and read it, is these incident reports in ELS. So the incident reports in ELS, the way that my team has been doing them is slightly different than the way that the specialists have been doing them before. And I feel that there is a lot of email back and forth, and I know all of you guys would be happy to have less emails back and forth. So what I would like to do is make sure that you guys are aware of exactly what we're looking for to be reported in ELS. That is going to cut down tremendously on the amount of emails that are going back and forth between providers and specialists. Like I said, I'm going to follow up with an email on this, but I'm going to rattle off some of these things that I've noticed. So we need the first and last name of the child or any child that's involved in the incident, their date of birth, their guardianship status, which means are they private placement or are they a state placement? And if they're a state placement, what state are they from? The description of the incident, if there's any safety plans, like if two kids got into an altercation, is there like we move them to different rooms, we move them to different units? What's the safety plan in place to hopefully prevent them from attacking one another again? If the police department was called, what police department responded? Because we do request those reports. So I need to know what police department to contact when I send out those FOIAs. If it's a maltreatment, the referral number that's associated with it, and any interim corrective action if the person is a staff member or a child. So what's the corrective action that you guys are going to take while this investigation is ongoing? Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. Some of the things that I've seen in ELS can say something as small as like Sally pushed Sarah, went to ER, no fractures. Okay. So when I read that and I have to type in all the stuff that I want the specialist to follow up on, we don't have the last names for these kids. We don't have the date of birth. We don't have the guardianship. Who was it that went to the ER? Was it both of them that went to the ER? Who had no fractures? Why were you taking an x-ray? Was it like somebody hit their head, somebody got punched in the face so hard that it possibly broke something in their face, or somebody's hand may be hurt? There's a lot of stuff missing from that simple statement. While it is kind of like a short recap of what happened, Sally pushed Sarah, went to the ER, no fractures, that is not providing us with enough information, and you're going to get flooded with emails from us having to go back and forth, back and forth. So I'd really like to see that cut down. So I'm going to send you guys an email, like I said, with a recap of this information, but I'd really like to try to improve this the best way we can. Okay. So do we have any questions on that?
Hi, this is Renessa.
Hi, Renessa.
Kind of more to, I'm surprised. So you guys FOIA anytime the police are called? And what do you do with that?
So when we have a incident that involves a police response, what we do is we request that documentation from the police department. We'll review it to make sure that there's not been any other things that may have been stated to the police that weren't stated to the facility, or any miscommunication that may have happened. And then we just save that and upload it into the case in ELS. It doesn't go past that. We just review it just to ensure that we have all the information we need. Just like how sometimes we'll request the nursing notes from you guys, or if there's any video footage, we're just following up to make sure that we have everything in the whole picture.
Okay. And the only other comment I would say about that is that sometimes when I see this police video on the web, not your guys's web, but like for instance on DRA website, sometimes the police don't always tell the exact correct story, or they misunderstand circumstances. They have a lot to do. So I've just noticed in a couple incidents where I was aware of the situation that it was misunderstood or whatever by the police. So I certainly hope that when you guys are reviewing that you understand that that's one person's side of the situation. And sometimes, for whatever reason, it's not really telling the correct story.
Absolutely, Renessa. Yeah, when we read those police reports, it's not something that we take and we say this is the stone cold, this is 100% all the facts of the case. You know, it's one side, and we do realize that there are multiple sides to every incident that occur. So we look at the whole picture, and that's part of the reason why we pull those police reports, is because we're trying to get the whole picture. So everything from everybody's point of view, so we can make it a determination on our side, because we'd hate for us to cite something or not cite something that could have been, um, avoided, or maybe you guys needed some more education on, or just multiple different things. So it's just one point of the whole bigger picture that we're looking for when we request those. Okay. I think we have another question, fostering change.
Yes, I was just going to ask, and I'm not sure if you were in the meeting that we all had in Little Rock, so it may be for, somebody else. I know Jasmine was there, but when we had discussed having an option for like those of us that are QRTP providers, we have to fill out a very detailed incident report for the mental health treatment unit in central office, the 1910 form. So we had requested trying to have an option to where we could upload that, so we weren't having to do the very detailed 1910 form and then put things in ELS. So do we know, I don't know if you guys have talked any more about that, seeing if there was like an upload option so that we could have one form that worked for licensing as well as our QRTP unit that we have to send that into, because that would be very helpful for us, just because, we're still day-to-day operations. So having to do the very detailed report in ELS, the very detailed handwritten 1910 form. I didn't know if we had heard any more about that.
Yes. So I was there at that meeting, and Ebony and I and Shay and Jasmine all had wrote up a document on all the provider concerns and what your guys' suggestions, and that being one of them. And we did submit that to our development IT department for review to see if there's anything in there that we could possibly incorporate into ELS, as we're trying to tweak things and change things right now. We have meetings weekly, if not a couple times a week here recently, going over tickets that we've submitted and following up on those. There has been a lot of tickets that we're trying to do to just kind of tweak different aspects of ELS to get it to work to what we need it to do. So that's one of them. We haven't got to that ticket yet, but it is on the list.
Okay, thank you so much, because I do think that would be very helpful for all of us, just to kind of lessen the workload. So I appreciate that.
Yes.
And I'm assuming we're still working on being able to add comments. Like I entered something yesterday, and then I found something else out after that. And so then I sent Jared a follow-up email with the case number. But it'd be awesome if we could add to one after we submitted it.
Oh, like editing a PRI after you submit it to us for review.
Yeah, or add notes to it.
I'm going to check on that. I'm going to see if we have that as a ticket. I can't remember that one off the top of my head. I know we have the uploadable option as a ticket, but I'm not sure about, Jasmine, do you know if we have that editing a PRI after it's been submitted?
I don't believe that's been submitted as a ticket yet.
Okay. Thank you, Renessa.
Hey, Abby, fostering change. Would you send us a copy of one of those forms that you upload so we can review it?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
And even if, and I don't know if we have somebody from DCFS on, but I would imagine that they would be willing to even allow us if there was something that you all needed that wasn't on that form, maybe just adding it to that form so that we had one form that we sent into everybody. So again, I'll send that in. But you know, I would imagine that the DCFS team wouldn't care if there was an additional thing put on there that you guys needed that maybe they didn't ask for.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. And like I said, I'll follow up with an email with the stuff with what we're looking for in the ELS reports. And I am sending those emails specifically. I had staff pull who is reporting for each facility. So whose email is associated with each of the facilities. And I'm going to be sending it out directly to those people on exactly what we want to see reported in there. So hopefully it doesn't have to go through multiple hands before it gets to the person who actually is submitting those incidents in ELS. So if you have any questions after I send that out, please do not hesitate. Give me a call or an email. I'll put that in the chat box here in a second, and I'll hand it over to Jasmine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chelsea. So I have just one more announcement before I open the floor up for any just general questions. I have accepted the position to take over Ebony's spot as the placement and adoption program manager. So I will be starting that position as of November 13th. So we will be getting a new placement and adoption program coordinator. Thank you, Shay. Of course, we will keep you guys updated on who that person will be. So we'll be getting a new placement and adoption program coordinator and a new PRTF program coordinator, and we will keep you guys updated on that. Any general questions that you guys have? Anything additional you want to go over?
Hi, this is Vanessa. Sorry. I was late. Can you remind me where can I access these meetings? Like if I want to go back and listen to the first 10 minutes I missed, where do I access these recorded meetings?
So they'll be posted on our website. Abigail, I know she's on this call. She usually posts them for us.
Vanessa,
I
I'll
can
find
get
that.
the I can get the link posted in the chat to where it will be where you can access it.
Perfect.
Thank you, Abby.
I have a general question. When a child is 18 and he has not signed out, there's no family member that we know of that is willing to care for him. Um, what what other options do we have? He's now, because of the violence that he committed over the weekend, he's now been arrested. So where does he go from here?
Have you guys looked into any transitional living programs or independent living programs? I know DCFS sometimes they allow them to extend their stay and placement. Are any of those options available to him or been looked at for him?
Explored.
Mhm.
There was supposed to be.
Jude,
I'm
did
not
you say
sure.
he signed out of care?
He has not.
Oh, he has not, so he's still in care right now?
Yes.
I would contact Crystal Jones at DCFS, and she's under Kristen Harper, and she is in charge of all the 18 to 21-year-olds in an extended foster care.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rachel. Any other questions? Okay, so the last thing that I have is just a reminder that our next board meeting is Wednesday, December 13th at 1:30 at the central office. Remember that the deadline to submit your request is December 3rd. It's always the third of the month of board. Make sure you guys are submitting when you're submitting your request for your special considerations and your alternative compliances. Make sure you're submitting it for the correct regulations. If anybody need copies of our manuals, we can send you guys electronic copies of our placement and residential regulations. Um, and last thing, remember that if you submit a permission to work, that person is required to appear before board, and someone from your agency will have to appear with them as a representative. So, any questions about that? And I see Shay found the picture.
Those are so nice.
They are.
Yeah,
I'm just recognize some of our kids that are up there. That's nice.
yeah, they
That's
did a
awesome.
great job. And we'll continue to do projects like this. It's exciting to get it from the kids, and it seems like the kids really enjoy doing them. So we will continue to do projects like this. And thank you guys again so much for participating. Okay, are there any final questions, comments, concerns before we end today? All right, thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll see you at our next provider call.